down, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than enough to push Cooper out of the natural here.
Yeah, Koopa's playing very passive, very safe. I love it. He's using a timing attack, yes, but he's not trying to deliver the killing blow instantly. He wants to make sure he has enough units, and he's slowly poking in. There's too much here. I'm going to back off. He's waiting for Photon Overcharge to burn out, and then he's going to poke back up there again.
And the beauty about this is he's only building it off of 3 gates. So the moment he starts to get that kind of snowball effect, like really getting on top of his opponent, start getting a lead, he can expand out of this quite comfortably and still have the aggressive ability to use the Blink Stalkers to backstab his opponent the moment he moves out of his base, so it just creates a further contain. Now, we do some sentries, but the Stalker count here is much larger here for the blue Protoss. He's getting right on top of the Immortal, kills it. Now he's just focused firing down those sentries here, so it looks like he just doesn't want to be denied any privileges into the main base, and he's going to work his way back now on his Nexus, and Primal Moon's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. The thing is, though, Koopa has kind of stopped macroing behind this. He's not building any pylons. He's not building any other buildings. And that's going to make him miss this next Warp-In round, which I think will make his attack crumble if his opponent doesn't go ahead and fold here in the next couple of moments.
Oh, he's really trying to push up into there, but the force fields are good, also denying any vision, so even because he's got Blink, he's still not getting anywhere with it. He can't get up the ramp. If he can't get up the ramp, he can't do any damage, and meanwhile, the Immortal count's growing here for Primal Moon, and if it gets up to at least anywhere to 3 Immortals, these Stalkers aren't going to stand too much of a chance, and I probably wouldn't imagine them wanting to stay around for a fight. Oh, gets the Blink forward, good decision making. Now he's up here, now he's on top of the Immortal. First Immortal going down.
What gave him the vision?
He blinked forward. He was really sneaky with that. He was kind of like, alright, I know when this force field's going to go down. I'm going to leave one Stalker here and then just risk it. And
nice.
It worked out really well for him. And now look, he's on top of the army. The Mortals there, it's doing tons of damage, but here come the reinforcing Stalkers. And with... oh, Primal Moon holds that, but at what cost? He did lose...
At what cost indeed?
18 workers. Ouchie. That's not what you want to see there, but I suppose that just evens him out. You know, it is one base. You don't need that many probes. He kind of rang a lot of them in from his natural. So both players still playing off of a reasonably straight up one base economy. But we do see the natural nexus being put down here for Cooper as he's deciding to macro out of this and continuing to apply the pressure with his Blink Stalkers. It now has a sentry of his own to start to contain. Good decision making.
Where do you think that Primal Moon can go from here in order to regain some kind of control of this game? Right now, his opponent's taking a second base and is basically free to tech up into whatever he wants. He's choosing a robo facility and is going ahead and powering up his pylons. So again, my question: what does Red do to get back in this game?
I was going to say DTs, but I think Cooper has identified this as well. It's like, alright, how do you get back into this? DTs is fantastic. Well, you've already got the robo. You could do a DT backdrop, with the Warp Prism, things like that. That could be so strong.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's identified. He's got the counter robo going, so he'll have observers out. So DTs aren't going to be an issue. I think Cooper's playing this now. He's just going to play this super safe, and Primal Moon's going to make something happen. He can either do some tricky stuff with his Immortals, which is going to lift and land them over here into the natural, get a nice surround. And to get that kind of encompassing surround is going to be so good for him. Now, better watch out and getting those engagements on the ramp. He's actually just going to try the engagement now. Bunch of units now into the natural. This sentries are kind of just forcing their way out, but he is losing them, however. And there's a lot of gas investment right there. Warp Prism finishes up. We've got a bit of a warp-in going in as well. And we see Robotics Bay coming out here for Cooper. So moving back to Wings of Liberty Protoss, going back for the lasers, and going to see those Colossus probably start going through the mid-game, but we've only 3 gateways, no Immortals out just yet. Oh no, getting a counter-Immortal for himself.
It seems like Koopa is in a position where he may just die here. Yes, he has the possibility of getting Colossi out, but it's going to be a while. And even when he does, he's not going to have enough ground army gateway units to shield that Immortal. Stalkers are just going to be able to target it down. That is a huge problem for him right now.
Yeah, he's actually an army deficit, kind of committing too much to the front of his base. But if he had a Mothership core, this would all change. And I think this might be something he might go back to the drawing board after this game and go, oh, well, you know, even if I win or lose in this situation, if I had the motion core, things could have definitely have changed. And the force fields are good, pushing the Immortal back so it's not getting the extra damage on top of the Stalkers here, but the probes pooled, I guess he can afford it.
Probe's really good, really early. He still has DPS there working, so they're going to work as a pretty good soak, but the question is it going to be enough? He's done a really good job holding his position, but there is a Warp Prism on the field for his opponent, so he's warping in Zealots, which are going to kind of buffer here for the Colossi, and make it really hard for him to get any kind of DPS out. Now, this natural has to be abandoned, and Koopa just doesn't have the units here, walks right on over that force field, to hold this for very long. One more warp-in round by Primal Moon should be able to push in and kill Koopa.
And look at this. This is PvP in a nutshell. It's just flipped on its head. Now we see Primal Moon with an advantage. He's got a higher probe count. He's going for robotics by himself. And he's just going to fall back, and we're probably going to see a standard backrow game from here on out.
You know what's really funny? I'm watching the stream and the game at the same time. In the stream, Koopa's winning. Or, I'm sorry, in the stream, Primal Moon's winning. In the game, it looks like Koopa's got a lead.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's really strange how this is happening, and if we're looking at the probe counts, it's 35 to 29, and that's never a good sign, especially at the 16-minute mark. And we're going to see some Immortal drops, so this is actually really nice. I've even seen a lot of players, and I know there's a Protoss player in the 9th Legion that likes to use Immortal drops, like, religiously in PvP. Like, he'll rock up with, like, 2 War Prisms of Immortals and just focus fire down Colossus and then bug out and then come back with like his huge counter timing with like all of his Immortals and just like this death ball and just rock up over, and it's worked out for him. It's been incredibly strong. He hates Colossus.
There's some killer pressure on Koopa right now. The score is 3-1. If he drops this game, he drops the war.
Yeah, it's basically all in or out. XT might take this, and Primal Moon's doing a fantastic job. Warp Prism now sitting in the north-end side of Koopa's base, and he can't see it, and there's a lot of vital tech.
And he's out of position. Koopa is completely out of position. Does he go home, or does he continue his attack?
I think you've just got to go for in this position. Look at it. He's already in the middle of the map. He's already warping units aggressively, and with the Colossus advantage, he could definitely take...
I'm a little bit surprised that the Immortals are going home.
Oh, forgive me, it's just late night and it's like, all of a sudden now I'm yawning and it feels terrible. But do the Immortals coming back?
I was yawning too.
The Immortals are coming back. The overcharge has been created, so a second robo in production. We're currently looking at only a 1 Colossus lead for one of these, for Primal... No, Koopa. Koopa is the 3rd Colossus, but the War Prism's coming in here, and it's got 2 Immortals in it, and they're going to make a huge impact in this next engagement, because this is basically going to be it. I suppose Koopa could micro out of this, like, just leave all these units here to kind of scare an engagement, because it forced the War Prism back out of his base. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know, it's probably one way. I wouldn't engage into this, Primal Moon is too set up.
He really should just go home.
Yeah,
he just should go home.
He's way too set up. If he engages into this when this 3rd Colossus finishes up, not to mention he's now producing off of a double robo, so it's 2 Colossus, he'll quickly have a Colossus lead, and then there's just no telling what... Never mind, he's going to go for it. Koopa, ballsy as...
There's too much here. There's too much here for his opponent. The thing is, it's all coming down to the defender's advantage. When you are in a PvP, a mirror matchup, any mirror matchup, and you attack into your opponent, and you do not have enough to kill them outright, you give them a lead. Period. There's no other way to explain it. You go from a very cost-effective situation to a cost-ineffective situation. That's why you see this pendulum of back-and-forth action in these mirror matchups. It's because people don't understand them. Their opponent has the same production as them, therefore engaging on their territory equals bad.
Yeah, defending in mirror matchups is probably one way of doing it, unless you've got like some serious good multitasking and micro, just to kind of sway all those battles, because yeah, like you said, you're effectively versing yourself is how you've got to think about it. There are obviously many strategies that can be employed, but the general basis of it is you are versing yourself. Your upgrades should be the same. If the unit composition is the same, you've got to outplay it. You've got to be more strategic. Now, yeah, the Zealots into the main base is basically the cherry on the cake, and it looks like Primal Moon takes it. So XT currently now 4-1, and I believe that could actually be the end of it.
That is going to be the end of it, my friend. And you know Koopa's kind of feeling like he's got a little egg on his face there, because that timing attack he did should never have happened. He tried to force the engagement, and he paid the ultimate price.
Yeah.
I hope he at least watches the replay and sees his mistake, because that's something you should learn from and never do again.
Yeah, the opening of that was actually really strong. I like the damage he did about it, but then it was like, okay, look, I'm ahead. I can go home now. And take the Artosis approach, like went ahead, just get further ahead, which would be fine. It'd be absolutely amazing in his position. But then to overcommit like that, and then Primal Moon's like, oh, I've got Immortals, you've only got Stalkers, and my Stalker counts at least 2/3 the size of yours. With the Immortals, I have the advantage. Lifts and loads with the War Prism, gets into the main, gets the surround, because Cooper was betting majority of his army just sit there and camp it with the force fields, completely diverted that. All of a sudden, now he's at a deficit. Came over, took out his natural, cleaned out a lot of probes. Primal Moon now taking a lead, so back and forth, and then taking the last bit of an engagement there with the double robo. Just so many more Colossus, had the defender's advantage, and realistically, what could have Cooper have done in that situation?
Well, I feel like once he lost his army in that attack, there was nothing he could do. He was 21 supply behind as far as army was concerned. Equal production? No chance.
It's the other thing, like the battle of nutrition coming right down to the end there.
If he had just stayed back, stayed defensive, he would have been in a much, much better position. But that does conclude this cast. Before we go, I do want to go ahead and give you guys an update so far in the night. As I mentioned earlier, GGK gets an all-kill against Lethal Perfect 4-0. And that we also have Clan War results for Clarity Gaming versus KLG. KLG actually loses also in an all-kill. Clarity Gaming takes that win. Jim Rising losing to a Liege on Whirlwind. Wingian losing to Dragon on Akalon Wastes. Dashi's losing to Saiku on Belshir Vestige. And Saravati taking a victory against Ultra on Korhal Sky Island. If you guys like what you're hearing, please check out more stuff from the UASL. We do this every Monday and Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout outs to our sponsor, Daco State, a wonderful sponsor. Thanks for giving out to the esports community. Appreciations going to the viewers who stayed with us all night. We're still sitting at around 31 viewers, so we appreciate everyone who's come out, checked us out tonight, who told your friends, who tweeted about us, who hit follow, who went to the YouTube, who did everything we asked you to. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks to Josh of 9th Legion, IXL Run Amok, for being my co-caster. And guys, this is Shaft signing out, so have a great night.
Yeah, see you later, guys.